Hello guys, I am Praise and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to create a responsive real estate website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see over here, I already have a demo of what our website will look like at the end of the video. Our project is going to have four main parts, and the first part is going to be the show section and the choose property type section. Then the second part is going to be the explore good places and the explore featured agents. Then next, our third part is going to be the featured properties for sale and the good reviews by customer section. Then our last part is going to be the explore property section and our download free app for Android and iPhone section. And our project is going to be responsive on all screen sizes. This is how it will look like on tablets and other devices, and this is what it will look like on mobile devices and smaller screens. And it's also going to have a sidebar that contains the links that were once in our navigation bar before, and these are our links right here in the sidebar. And if you notice, there is a shadow feature that covers the windows whenever we toggle our sidebar. And the features of our sidebar are going to be the ability to close with the close button right here, and it can also close whenever we click on the windows right here. And that's it for our intro, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really means the world to me. So firstly, we are going to be importing some variables which we are going to be using later in the CSS. I'm going to make this link available in the description of this video, so it will be much more easier for you guys to access the variables, just like me. This is our variables right here. Click on this link when you open the link I provided, copy this and paste it in the CSS, and that should make it much more easier for us to use our colors and other features like the border radius and transition right here, transition border color, sorry, box shadow color, and up here we're going to have text head color and gray text color, which are other color variables. And next we're going to go ahead and continue with our HTML code. Let's delete this. Don't need it anymore. Today we are going to be making use of Fonts Awesome and Google Fonts. And in Google Fonts, we are going to need just search for Google Fonts on your browser search bar. And when you get into Google Fonts website, search for just on the search bar. And when you find it, click on Get Fonts. And after that, click on Get Embed Code. And you're going to find Import right here. Copy this CDN and paste it up here in your CSS file. Up here. And that should do it for our fonts family. Next, we're going to be using Fonts Awesome also, and we're going to grab the CDN from our CDN.js website. Search for Fonts Awesome on the CDN search bar, and this is it. When you click on Fonts Awesome, click on this icon right here to copy the CDN and paste it in your HTML head tag just down here, and that should do it for our icon. Don't forget to create your CSS and JavaScript link, as I already have mine right here. Next, we're going to be creating our sidebar, which is the first element we're going to have in our project today. Create a div, and this div is going to have a class which is going to be sidebar overlay container. Then in here, we're going to have div once more, and this time around, it's going to be for the shadow that appears whenever we toggle the sidebar. It's going to have two classes. First one is going to be container, and the second one is going to be shadow overlay. Then down here, we're going to have our sidebar itself. Create an aside tag, and this aside tag is going to have a class, and the class is going to be sidebar, and it's also going to have an ID which is going to be sidebar. Then next, we're going to have some elements right inside our sidebar. The first one is going to be a button, which is going to be our close button. Give it a class, and the class is going to be close btn. And in here, we're going to have our icon, and the class for this icon is going to be fa-solid and fa- let's call it xmark. Let's see what it looks like. This is our icon and our close button right here. Then next we're going to be creating our links, the links in the sidebar that I showed you guys in the demo. Just down here we're going to create a span tag, and this span tag, we don't need a class for it. What we need are some elements right in here. Firstly, we need an a tag, and it's going to have a list tag right inside here. First link here is going to be a home, and we can copy and paste this a few more times, and that should do it for our links. We are going to change this to about, and the second one is going to be services, and this one right here is going to be contacts. Next, we're going to create our navbar, as we are already done with the sidebar. Let's see what it looks like. This is all we need for the sidebar. Next, we're going to go ahead and create our navigation bar. Just down here, create a new div, and this time around, this div is going to have a class, and the class here is going to be navbar container. Navbar container, that's an abbreviation for navigation bar. And in here, we're going to have a nav tag, and this nav tag is going to have a class which is going to be container and navbar. Those are two different classes. Don't get them wrong. Next, we're going to have a span tag right in here, and it's going to have a class, and the class here is going to be toggle icon container. Toggle icon container. Then in here, we're going to have an a tag, and this a tag is also going to have a class, and the class here is going to be logo text. And I'm going to use my channel's name as the logo since I don't have any logo yet. Let's see what it looks like. This is our logo right here, which is this logo which we are going to design later in CSS. Let's go ahead and complete our navbar. So after the logo, what we're going to have is another list tag, and it's going to have a class, and the class is going to be links container. Then in here we're going to have some links. The first one is going to have an anchor tag right inside it, and this anchor tag link is going to be home. Let's copy and paste this 3 more times. And the second one right here is going to be about, just like in the sidebar, and the third one is going to be services, and the last one here is going to be contacts. You don't need this, so you can go ahead and delete this. Then after our navigation bar and the logo, what we need to create next is going to be our navigation buttons, which are the buttons right here. Let's see. I think we need to paste this right in here to make them side by side, just like what we have right here in the demo. They are supposed to be inside one container. Paste this right in here, and that is what we need. But this time around, our logo is going to have a different span of its own, and this span is going to have a class which is going to be, let's call it toggle icon container. So we're going to change this class. We need a different class right here. That was a mistake. We're going to change this to logo links container, and that should do it. Then down here we're going to have our buttons container. So as I was saying, our buttons container is the container that holds these two buttons right here, the sign up or sign in and host property button. So we're going to create a div for the buttons, and this div is going to have a class which is going to be navbar button and navbar button container. And our first button is actually going to be a link. Let's use an anchor tag, and here we're going to have a class for our anchor tag. The class is going to be sign in link and sign in link, and in here we're going to have an icon, and for the icon we're going to add a class. It's going to be fa-solid and fa-user circle. Let's see what it looks like. This is our icon right here. That is the user circle icon. Then next we're going to have our second button. Actually, we're going to have 3 buttons inside this container, and the second button is going to be our property button. It's going to have a btn class which I'm going to create later in CSS, and it's going to have its second class which is going to be property button. Let's call it property nav btn instead. Then inside our button we are going to have an icon, and is going to have a class which is going to be fa-solid and fa-arrow right to bracket. Let's see what it looks like. This is it right here. And next we're going to have our third button, which is also going to be the last. But firstly, let's add some text inside this property nav button. Here we need let's type in post. That is supposed to be uppercase. This is going to be post property, and we're going to have an anchor tag after this button. Just out here, we're going to give it a class, and the class here is going to be add icon link. And in here we're going to have a class. We already have a class. What we need is a text in here. Let's use an icon instead, and this icon is going to have a class which is going to be fa-solid, fa-circle plus. Let's see what it looks like. This is it right here, just what we need. The next, we're going to be creating our toggle button, which is the button that appears whenever we get to the smaller screen right here. And we're going to create our button by creating the button tag after the add icon. And this button is going to have a class which is going to be sidebar toggle btn. And in here we're going to have an icon once more, and this icon is going to have a class which is going to be fa-solid and fa-bars. Let's see what it looks like. This is our icon right here, just what we need, and our button. Then next we're going to go ahead and create our hero section, because we are already done with our navbar and our sidebar. And to create our hero section, we need to get down here and create a section tag, and this section tag is going to have a class which is going to be hero section. And in here we're going to have a div, and this div is going to have a class which is going to be hero section container. And in here we're going to have a div which is going to hold our hero section image. And what I'm talking about is the image right here in the demo, the background image right here. And we're going to create the image element by giving this a class which we're going to use to manipulate it later in the CSS. And this class is going to be hero image container. And in here we're going to have our image, and here I'm going to create our image class which is going to be hero image. This is supposed to be a class, not the source. This is going to be hero image, and the source is going to be the image I already have, or you can use any image at all. Here I'm going to type in assets image, and I'm going to be using hero image 2, which is the image we need. Let's see what it looks like. This is our image right here. And next I'm going to create another div which is going to be our hero main container. After the image, create a div, and it's going to have a class which is going to be hero main container. And right inside this div we're going to have a header, and this header is going to hold two elements which are going to be our paragraph tag and our h1 tag. Change this to h1 and give this a class. The class here is going to be hero description, hero description. And here we're going to have a class, and the class here is going to be hero header text. And in here I'm going to have the dummy text which I already provided in the demo. I'm going to copy and paste this right here for the hero description, and find the perfect place is going to be text inside our h1 tag right here. And that's it for our header. Next I'm going to go ahead and create our form, which is the submit form right here for buy and for rent, and our search button that you can use to search for any location. And in order to achieve this, we need to create a form tag down here after the header tag, and we don't need the action. This form tag is going to have a class which is going to be search cost form. Search cost form. And in here we're going to have a div, and this div is going to have a class which is going to be check boxes. Let's call it check boxes row. And in here we're going to have a div, and the div is going to be checkboxes item this time around. And for the checkboxes item, we need a couple of elements right inside it. We need a label tag, and this label tag is also going to have a class, and the class here is going to be checkbox. This time around it's going to be checkbox, not checkboxes. Checkbox and style d. And in here for the label we're going to have an input, and this input is going to be our checkbox itself, and we need an ID right here, and this ID is going to be for buy. Then after our input, we're going to have, let's see, after our input, we're going to have a div, and this div is going to be our check mark. I'm going to give it a class, and the class is going to be checkbox check mark. And that is it for our first. Let's see what it looks like. This is our first checkbox, which says for buy. We actually need the text after the checkbox itself. Let's head down here, and what we need is a text, not a class. Here we're going to give it a paragraph tag, and the text here is going to say for buy, and it also needs a class, and the class right here is going to be checkbox body. This is it for our first checkbox. What we need is to create another one, the second one. You can just copy and paste this once more. The checkbox is item, copy it and paste it right in here, and you can change a couple of things around to make it look just like the second one. Change this to for rent, and here we're going to change this to checked. The input is going to have a class, actually not a class, it's just an attribute which is going to be checked, and in here we're going to add checked. That is it for our checkboxes, and next we're going to go ahead and create our icon input container. The icon input container is a container that holds this input right here and also holds this icon. And for our icon input container, we need to get down here and create a div, and this div is going to have a class which is going to be icon input container. And for the icon input container, we're going to have two elements, and the first one is going to be our icon. Here we need to give this a class, and the class here is going to be input location icon. Then next we're going to have our icon class itself, which is going to be fa-solid fa-location dot. Let's see what it looks like. And this is our icon right here. Then next we're going to create our inputs, and our input is going to have a class, and the class is going to be, let's call it hero search input. Then it's also going to have a placeholder, and the placeholder is going to be search. This is going to be search for a location, and that is it for our icon input container. Then down here we're going to have a div, and this div is going to be for our search button. Let's call the class here inputs button container, and our button is going to be right inside here, and the button here is going to be the button we have right here in our website, the search button. And for the button we need a class. The class is going to be, let's call the class hero search btn, and we need a type which is going to be submit. This is not necessary, we don't need that. What we need is the text right in here, and it's going to be search. Then next we're going to go ahead and create our second section, which is going to be our container property type section. This is our property type section right here. That is the second part of this project. Here we're going to create a section tag, and it's going to have a class. a section tag. It's going to have a class, and it's going to have two classes. The first one is going to be container, and the second one is going to be, let's call it property type section. Change this p right here to a lowercase. That is what we need, not an uppercase. And right inside our section, we're going to have a header once more, and this header is going to have a class, which is going to be header, let's call it header center. And here we're going to have a h1 tag right in here, which is going to be our first element inside the header tag, and it's going to have a class, and the class is going to be head text. Then in here for our text, we're going to type in choose property type. Actually, this property here right here is going to be an uppercase, and that should do it. The next, we're going to have a paragraph tag right here, and it's going to have a class which is going to be wrap text center. Then in here for our text, we're going to have the dummy text right here. I'm just going to copy and paste this, and that is what we need. And for the cards, we're going to create a main tag which is going to hold our cards. Right here we need a main tag, and it's going to have a class which is going to be property cards container. And for our cards, we're going to need an anchor tag which is going to have a class and an ID. The ID is going to be property card link, and the class is going to be card. We need to create the class right outside here. It's going to be card. And for the elements inside our anchor tag, as you can see right here, there's just quite a few of them: an icon, a text, and the property quantity. What we need to do is come down here and create an icon tag, and right here we're going to have a class, and the class is going to be property card icon, and the second class is going to be fa-solid and fa-house laptop. Let's see what it looks like. This is our icon right here, as you can see. The next, we're going to create our h3 tag, which is going to have the property name. Here we're going to call the class property type, and the text inside here is going to be commercial. And next, we're going to have a paragraph tag, which is going to be the property quantity. Here we're going to call the class property quantity, and in here we're going to have the quantity, and the first one is going to be 122 properties, and that should do it. Let's see what it looks like. This is our card right here. We can actually copy and paste this as much as we want to get all the cards we have right here, but we are going to copy and paste after we're done designing and styling our card. Firstly, let's head right back here and start styling once more from the beginning, as we are already done with the HTML of our project. So the first style here is going to be our container. Here we're going to type out container, the container class, and for the container class we're going to have, let's see, we're going to have a padding, and the padding here is going to be 32px and 10px. Let's go back and create our body tag for the styles, and here our body is going to have a font family. The font family we've already imported, we're going to be using it right now, and it's going to be Just and sans serif, which is going to be our fallback font. Let's see what our font looks like. As you can see, it looks nice, unlike before. And next we're going to type in an asterisk here to remove every padding and margin from our website. Padding here is going to be 0 and margin is going to be 0. Then next we're going to add box sizing, and it's going to be border box. Next we're going to have our header center, and for the header center we're going to add display flex, and we're going to add align items center, and we're going to have flex direction, and it's going to be column. Then we're going to have text align, and it's going to be center. I would like to explain what this header center class does. Whenever we add this header center class to a header tag in HTML, this is what it actually does. It's going to either we use header center or header start, which we let me show you guys. You can just create this once more and change this to header start. And for the header start, we are going to have align items start right here, and text align here is going to be start. So let's head back to HTML and add header start instead and see what happens. If you notice right here, our text and the description is aligned to the center. So let's go ahead and change this to header start and see what happens. If you notice, it's now aligned to the left side of our website, and that is just it. It also works just like variables. If you notice right here, if I change the color here to red, and let's see what happens. This is red right now, but okay, if you want to use variables, you can just type in var, which is variables, and you can use any color of your choice in the variables. As you can see right here, we have blue 100, blue 200, and blue 300. Let's type in that and see what it changes to. This is it right here. And the usefulness of variables is that whenever we change a color, we won't have to come back to change them one by one and one after the other. All we have to do is head back, as you can see here, blue 300, head back to blue 300 and change this to red, and every color that has this variable is going to be changed to red. That is just the usefulness of variables. So let's change this back to what we want, remove this, and let's head back to HTML and change this to header center. That is the class we need for the header. Then next, I'm going to go ahead and create our wrap text, which is another style just like the header center and header start. This time around, I'm going to have wrap text start, and the styles in here is going to be display flex and align items start, and I'm going to have flex direction, and it's going to be column. Then next, we're going to have text align, and it's going to be start. Then next, I'm going to go ahead and create our second class, which is going to be wrap text center. We're not yet done with the styles, but I like to do this in order not to forget. This is going to be wrap text center. Then let's go ahead and continue. Here we're going to have max width, which is going to be 700 px, and we're going to have line height, and it's going to be 25 px, and we're going to have font size, and font size here is going to be 15 px, and color is going to be gray dark, which is the color we already have in the variables. The next, we're going to add margin, and our margin here is going to be 0 px, 0 px, and 5 px. Let's see what our wrap text looks like. This is our wrap text right here. It's supposed to take in all those styles, but it seems there's an error. Let's go ahead and see what the error is. Let's make sure this is available in HTML. As you can see, it's not available. What you need is wrap text center, which we've not yet created. You can just copy and paste this in order to make the changes. Paste this right in here, and we need this display flex. Paste this here, change this to center, and this one should also be center, and that is all we need for the wrap text center. Let's see what it looks like. This is it right here, as I said. And whenever we change our class right here to wrap text center, wrap text start, you can see it aligns to the left side of our screen, just like this. That is the usefulness of creating variables, and it makes your code much more easier. And if you notice, if we just copy this right here and paste it in here, we have a new text down here. You can just change them at any time, and it makes things much more easier. If you type in wrap text center right here, and notice it brings it to the center and align our text to the center just like what we want. Delete this, we don't need it. Let's go ahead and continue with our styles. So we're going to change this to wrap text center, and this is our wrap text right here. Next, let's go ahead and create our head text, which is another variable. It's also like a variable. we're going to create a head text, and for the head text we're going to have our color, and the color here is going to be, let's create a color, and the color here is going to be a variable which we already have. It's going to be text head color, and we're going to have font size, and the font size here is going to be 30 px, and margin here is going to be 0 px, 0 px, and 5 px. The next we're going to have card, and which is general styling for every card in our project, and it's going to have a background which is going to be called the color, and it's going to be white. Then next we're going to have a padding, and the padding is going to be 10 px, and we're also going to have a height which is going to be 100%. Then we're going to have a border radius, which is going to be another variable we have in our root, and this time around we need border radius 10, which is actually 10 px. Then next we need a border, and this border here is going to be 1 px solid var, and it's going to have color which is going to be gray 100. Then next we're going to have flex right here. It's going to be 1 calculate, and we're going to have 30.33% and minus 30 px. Then next we're going to have box sizing for our card, and our card box sizing is going to be border box. Then after that we're going to style our button right here, the general style for every button, and general style is going to be a flex style which is going to have display flex, and it's going to have align items which is going to be center, and we're going to have justify contents right here which is also going to be center. Then next we need the gap. Let's set it to 5 px, and we're going to have a padding right here. It's going to be 15 px and 20 px. That is for top, bottom, left, and right. Let's correct this, and that is what we want. Next we're going to have cursor right here. It's going to be pointer, and next we're going to add font size. Our font size here is going to be 14 px, and width here is going to be fit content. The next we're going to add a main width, and our main width here is going to be 60 px. Then next we're going to have border, and it's going to be none. After that we're going to have our button container. Let me go ahead and show you guys what the button container is. The button container is the container that holds these buttons right here: browse more properties, browse more agents, and the container that holds the button is the class I just created, button btn container. And for the attributes we're going to have display flex, and align items center, and justify contents center. Then next we're going to have width right here, and it's going to be 100%, and we're going to have margin top, it's going to be 2rem. The next we're going to go ahead and create the button itself, which is a big btn class. That is big button, big btn. And for the big button we're going to have a ground, and it's going to be, color here is going to be blue 400, which we've already created in the variables. And next we're going to have a color for the buttons, and the color here is going to be white, which is another variable. And next we're going to have main width, and the main width here is going to be 240 px. Then next we're going to have padding, and padding here is going to be 20 px, 20 px. And we're going to have a border radius. It's going to be border radius 5 this time around. Then next we're going to have transition, which we've already created in the variable, and our transition here is going to be transition. If you notice in the variable we already have a transition right here, and the transition is 0.2 seconds. Let's go ahead and create our big button hover, which is a hover effect in the button. If you notice, there is a hover effect whenever we hover on the buttons right here. It changes the color. We can achieve that by typing in hover right here and adding a background to change the background of our button whenever we hover on it. And whenever we hover on it, the background is going to turn to let's add blue 300. That's another color. You guys might ask, where is the element for all this time we'll be writing all this time? They are not yet in our HTML. We're going to be using them in the future videos. The buttons are not yet available. When we create them in the next part of our project, you are going to see them, and they are just going to easily take up this style, and we won't have to stress ourselves to style them once again. Next, we're going to go ahead and create our describer. And what I mean by describer is this text right here that says for rent and apartment. So let's go ahead and create that. Here I will just type in dot describer, and the dot describer class is going to have actually the same classes we have here. You can just copy and paste this, and here we're going to have gap. The gap here is going to be 5px. I'm going to have padding right in here, and it's going to be 6px and 10px for top, bottom, left, and right. Also, we have border radius here, which is going to be border radius 5. And next, we're going to have font size. The font size is going to be 11px, and font width here is going to be bold. And next, we're going to have width, and our width here is going to be fit content. And next, we're going to have main width, and the main width here is going to be 80px. Next, we're going to go ahead and create our button variables. Let's see, if you notice down here, we have a couple of buttons, just like these buttons here. We have blue buttons and green buttons we can actually use later, and it makes things much more easier. I'm just going to create a class, and we're going to have green btn, and here the green btn is going to have a color, and the color here is going to be green 100, which is a variable, and the background here is going to be green soft, which is another variable. You can just copy and paste this 2 more times to achieve the remaining variables we need. Here we're going to have blue btn for this one. This is going to be blue btn, and this one is going to be red btn. The color right here is going to be red 300, and this is going to be red soft, and this one is going to be blue soft, and here we're going to have blue 100. Then next we're going to go ahead and create our sidebar style. Now we are getting started with the elements we already have in the HTML. Let's go ahead and create our sidebar styles. Type in our sidebar overlay container, and here we're going to have, let's type in overlay container, and here we're going to have position. It's going to be relative, and we're going to have width, which is going to be 100%, and the height here is going to be 100%. Then after that, we are going to have our sidebar overlay, which is the shadow that appears whenever we toggle the sidebar. This is going to be sidebar overlay class right here, and it's going to have display, which is going to be none, and position is going to be fixed. Then after that, we're going to have z index, and the z index here is going to be 100. Then next, we're going to have background right here, and the background is not going to be a variable this time around. It's going to be a very different color from what we have in the variables. It's going to be #2423. This is not going to be 23, it's going to be #2423, and we need 23 once more, and it's going to be 66, which is going to be the remaining color. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, we added display none. It's not going to be visible yet till the end of the video when we're going to toggle the sidebar. Next, we're going to add width, and the width here is going to be 100%. Then next, we're going to add top, and it's going to be 0. Then next, we're going to add height, and height here is going to be 100 VH. What this height does is to stretch our shadow down to the bottom of our website, and this top right here is going to make it stick to the top of the website no matter what, even though we scroll to the bottom of the website. The next, we're going to add a class, show shadow. This show shadow class is a class that we are going to toggle whenever we click on the sidebar to toggle the shadow, and change it to display block whenever we click on the button display block. The next, we're going to have our sidebar itself right here, sidebar, and for the sidebar, we're going to have a class, a height. It's going to be 100%, and next we're going to have width right here, and the width is going to be 300 px. The next, we're going to add the position fixed to our navbar, and next we're going to add top once more, and it's going to be 0, just as I've already explained before. What this top does is to make it stick to the top of our website, and position fixed makes it stay just in one position no matter how far we scroll out of the sidebar position. Next, we're going to add left, and left here is going to be minus 300 px to make it refract into the screen. And whenever we toggle our show sidebar class, it's going to reappear back into our screen. Let's add show sidebar, and here we're going to add left, and the left here is going to be minus 0 px to make it appear back whenever we toggle this class. And next, we're going to add the index, and it's going to be 100. Let's go ahead and complete the styles for our sidebar. We need to remove this. We don't need this to disappear yet because we would like to see what it looks like when we are done styling it. Here we're going to add the index, and it's going to be 100. And next, we're going to add background, and the background here is going to have a variable color which is going to be white. The next, we're going to add overflow x hidden, and next we're going to have padding top to add space to the top of our sidebar, and padding top here is going to be 60 px. The next, we're going to add transition, and transition here is going to be 0.8 seconds ease to make the retracting and reappearance much more smoother. Let's see what our sidebar looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look just like what we have right here in the demo. If you notice, this is our sidebar in the demo, and this is what we have right here. Let's go ahead and complete our sidebar style. And for the sidebar, what we need next is to style the links. Just down here, we're going to type in sidebar li, and here we're going to have list style type, and it's going to be disk. Then next, we're going to add our sidebar li class. You can just copy and paste this down here, and this time around we're going to have a instead of li. And for the a, we're going to have a couple of styles. Firstly, we're going to have display block. Then next, we're going to have padding for top, bottom, left, and right once more. It's going to be 10 px and 30 px. Then next, we're going to have text decoration, which is going to be none. Then next, we're going to have font size down here, font size, and our font size here is going to be 14 px, and we're going to add color, and the color here is going to be gray 300. Then next, we're going to add the transition to make our hover effect much more smoother, and the transition here is going to be transition we have in the variable. Let's go ahead and add our hover effect next. Here we're going to have our hover sidebar a hover, and on hover we're going to change the background, and the background is going to be blue 300 on the hover. And next we're going to add, let's see what it looks like before we start our list tag. If you notice, the background changes on hover. So what we're going to do next is, let's copy this and paste it once more. We're going to use it to change the list color whenever we hover on our anchor tag. Here we're going to have sidebar, a hover, and li. And whenever we hover on the sidebar link, our list star color is going to be changed. It's going to be changed to white. Let's use the variable to white. Let's see what that looks like. This is it, just what we want. Now let's go ahead and install our close button, the close button right here. For our close button, we are going to type out the close btn class, and let's make sure it's available in HTML. I'll just copy and paste this in the search bar, and as you can see, it's available. For the close btn, we are going to have display flex, and we are going to have align items center, and next we're going to have justify content, which is going to be center. Then next we're going to add position, and our position here is going to be absolute. Then next we're going to add top, and top here is going to be 10px, and right is also going to be 10px. Then next we're going to have background none right here to remove every background from our close button. I think we actually need a background. We don't need background none. What you need here is background blue, and it's going to be 100. Then next we're going to add border none to remove border from our button. Border none, and next we need border radius, and the border radius here is going to be border radius 5. Then next we're going to add a padding to our button, and the padding right here is going to be 5px. We also need a width for our button. The width here is going to be 30px. Height is also going to be 30px. The next we're going to add font size to increase the text, the icon size of our close button. The icon size here is going to be 20px, and the color here is going to be blue soft, which is another variable. This is supposed to be soft. Then next we're going to add a background here, and we already have a background. What we have to do is keep our color close to the background to avoid confusion. Paste this here, and that should do it. Next we're going to add cursor pointer. Here we're going to change cursor to pointer, and next we're going to add the transition. This is supposed to be transition. We already have a transition variable. Just type that in, and that should do it. Let's see what our button looks like. As you can see, this is our button right here, just what we want. And if you notice right here in the demo, our button has this pop-up effect that appears whenever we hover on the button. We can add that by adding a hover right here for our button. It's going to be a hover feature, and here we're going to type in hover, and for the hover feature we need transform, and here the transform is going to be scale, and we're going to add 1.2. That is what makes it pop up whenever we hover on the button. Next we're going to add background. We're going to change the background of our close button whenever we hover on it. The background here is going to be changed to blue 200. Let's see what it looks like. This is our effect just right here, and it seems there is a problem with our buttons, our links. If you notice, our links right here in the sidebar sticks to the left side of the sidebar and not the center. Let's see what the problem is. I think the problem might be our padding from the sidebar. If you notice, this looks like a padding. We just have to head up to the sidebar. Let's find it, and this is supposed to be padding top, not padding, and that should fix it. This is our length right here. This is just what it's supposed to look like, just like in the demo. And that's it for our sidebar. Let's go ahead and create our navbar. Now we can make our sidebar disappear. We don't need it anymore. Just uncomment this, and that should make it disappear. That is just what we want. Then next we're going to go ahead and create our navbar, our navigation bar, as we already done with the sidebar. Here for the navigation bar, we're firstly going to start our toggle button. Here we're going to type in sidebar and we're going to have toggle btn. And for the toggle button, we're going to have display none. We don't need this yet because we'd like to see what our button looks like after we're done adding the styles. Here what we need is background none, and we're going to have align items and it's going to be center. Then next we're going to have justify content and it's going to be center. Then we're going to have border none, and after our border none we're going to have font size, which is going to be 25 px. Then we're going to have color, and our color is going to be, let's set it to blue 300. And next we're going to have cursor, and the cursor here is going to be pointer. And after that we're going to style our toggle icon container. Let's see, toggle icon container. But firstly, let's see what our sidebar toggle button looks like. This is it right here, just what we want. And for the toggle button, for the toggle icon container, what we need in here is a display flex and align items center. Then next we're going to have justify content and it's going to be center. After that we're going to start our navbar container. Our navbar container is the container that holds our navbar. Here we're going to type in navbar container, and for the navbar container we need display flex, and next we're going to have align items, it's going to be center. We also need justify content, it's going to be center. Then we're going to add margin, and our margin here is going to be auto, and we're going to add position and it's going to be sticky to make it stick to the top of our website. And next we need top and it's going to be 0. Let's see what it looks like. This is our navbar right here. As you can see, it sticks to the top of our website. So next what we need is a width. We need width right here, and width here is going to be 100%. The next we need to set bottom to 0, and next we're going to add height, and our height here is going to be 80 px, and the index here is going to be 70. Then next we're going to have background, and the background here is going to be white. Let's use our variable white. The next we're going to add box shadow, and the box shadow here is going to be 1 px, 2 px, and 10 px. What this does is to remove the box shadow from the left, right, and top, and bring it to the bottom of our navbar to make it look just like what we have here. If you notice in the demo, we don't have any box shadow at the top, right, or left. We only have box shadow at the bottom of our navbar, and this is our box shadow right here. But we need to add our color variable to make it much more lighter. So what we need to type in here is the box shadow color, and that should do it. That is beautiful. Next, I'm going to go ahead and style our navbar itself to make it look pretty. We're going to have to type in navbar right here, and we're going to have display flex. The next, we're going to have justify content, and it's going to be space between. And we're going to have align items, it's going to be center. Then next, we're going to have width. The width here is going to be 100%, and height here is going to be 10%. This is supposed to be 10%, and let's see what it looks like. This is our navbar, just what we want. Next, we're going to go ahead and style our logo text. Down here, we're going to have our logo text. That is our logo, the one we created in HTML. And for the logo text, we're going to have font size, and font size is going to be 28 px, and we're going to add font weight, and font weight here is going to be bold. Then we're going to have text decoration, which is going to be none. Then we're going to have color, and color here is going to be var, and which is a variable, and it's going to be blue 400. Let's see what our text looks like. This is our logo, as you can see, just like what we have in the demo. Next, we're going to go ahead and style our links container. Here we're going to have links container. We need display flex right here. We also need align items, it's going to be center. Then we're going to add justify content, it's also going to be center. Then next, we're going to go ahead, and here what we need is actually space between, not center. And we also need a gap, which is going to be 30 px. Then next we're going to go ahead and style our logo links container. Let's see what our links looks like for now. As you can see, this is our links. They are just looking like what we have. Now let's go ahead and add some styles to our logo links container. And for the logo links container, we need a couple of styles. The first one is going to be display flex, and the second one is going to be justify content, which is going to be space between. And we need graph right here, and it's going to be 40px. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, that is beginning to look beautiful. The next, we're going to have our links container style. Right here, we need links container, and we're going to have a and li. Here we're going to have text decoration, it's going to be none, and list style type here is going to be none. Then next we're going to have color, and our color here is going to be text head color. Then next we're going to add a font size to make it smaller, and the font size here is going to be 15px. And let's see what our links looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look beautiful. This is just what we want for the links. Now let's go ahead, and it seems there is a problem with our container right here for the button. Sorry for the navbar. If you notice, our navbar has some padding at the left and right. Let's see what the problem is. I think the problem is from our container class. Let's head up to our container class right here, and we need some more styles here to make it look just like what we have in the demo. The styles we need are margin, auto, and we also need max width, which is going to be 1300px. Let's see what it looks like now. As you can see, this is just what we want. It's beginning to look like just what we have in the demo. Next, let's go ahead and style our navbar buttons container, which is the container that holds these buttons right here. And for the navbar buttons container, we're going to have a class down here for the navbar buttons container, and the class here is going to be, let's add button here to make it complete. This is the class we need, navbar button container. This is going to be buttons, and let's make sure it's correct and available in HTML. As you can see, it's not available. Let's see what the problem is. Let's head over to the navbar, and this is it right here. Change these buttons, and that should do it. And for the navbar buttons container, we need a few styles. The first one is going to be display flex, and next we're going to add align items. It's going to be center, and we're also going to add cap, which is going to be 20px. Then let's see what it looks like. As you can see, this is beginning to look beautiful, just like what we have in the demo. Let's go ahead and add some styles to our buttons and make it look just like what we want. I think a text is missing. The text that is missing is the sign up or sign in text right here. Down here, we're going to add a paragraph tag, and this paragraph tag is going to have a text right inside it, which is going to say sign up. This is going to be sign up or sign in. Let's see what our text looks like. This is it right here, just what we want. And to make it look much more beautiful, we need to add some styles. And to add the styles, we need to type out our class right here. The class we need here is sign in. This is going to be sign in link. Here we need display flex, and we also need align items, which is going to be center. The next we're going to add cap, and our cap here is going to be 3px. Then next we're going to add font size. It's going to be 15px, and we need to add color here, which is going to be general gray. The next we're going to add text decoration. which is going to be none to remove text decoration from the links. The next, we're going to add our hover effect for the sign-in link. Here, the hover effect is going to be color. We're going to change the color whenever we hover on the link. Here, the color is going to be blue 400 whenever we hover on it. Let's see what it looks like. This is it right here. As you can see, it changes color whenever we hover on the link, and it now looks just like what we have here in the demo. As you can see, let's go ahead and style our button next. And for the button, we're going to add let's see, we need add icon link first. I'm going to style our add icon first before the button. Here we're going to type in add icon link. The add icon link is the class that belongs to this add icon you can see right here. And for that, we're going to type in add icon link, and the class is in here. Sorry, the styles are just going to be a few styles. Firstly, we need color, and the color is going to be blue 400, and next we're going to add font size, and the font size is going to be 25px. Then next we're going to add background, and the background here is going to be none, and we're going to add border none. And next we're going to add cursor, and cursor here is going to be pointer. And next we're going to have display, and it's going to be none. We need to remove this because we are going to have to see what our icon looks like before we remove it and make it invisible. As you can see, our icon looks just like what we want. The next, we're going to go ahead and style our property nav button. That's our property navigation button. Just type in property. We need a full stop right here. That is what we need. Here, we're going to type in nav btn, and the styles in here are going to be background, and the background is going to be blue 400. The next, we're going to add a color, and our color here, let's see, the color we need here is going to be our white variable. The next, we're going to add a border radius, and the border radius here is going to be 5, which is border radius of 5px. Next, we're going to style our hero section. Let's see what our button looks like. As you can see, our navigation bar and the buttons now look just like what we have here in the demo. But for now, we are going to make these buttons disappear. We don't need them anymore. This one and the sidebar toggle button, we don't need them anymore. As you can see, this is just what we want. So let's go ahead and style our hero section, which is the first section of our project. Here we're going to have hero section for this class, and the styles in here are going to justify contents, and it's going to be center. The next, we're going to have background, and the background is going to be blue soft. Then next, we're going to add a width, and the width here is going to be 100%. Next, we're going to have hero section container class, hero section container, and we're going to have display flex. The next, we're going to have justify content, and it's going to be center. The next, we're going to have align items, and it's going to be center. After that, we're going to have height, which is going to be 100 ph to make it stretch to the full height of our website and screen. Next, we're going to add main height. Let's use main height. It's going to be 600 px, and we need to add width here, which is going to be 100%. Let's see what our section container looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look like just what we want. And after that, we're going to style our hero image container. The hero image container is the container that holds this image right here. Let's type in hero image container, and for that, we're going to add position relative, and next we're going to have justify content, which is going to be center. And after that, we're going to add align items. It's going to be center, and we're going to have height, and it's going to be 100%. Then after that, we're also going to add width. It's also going to be 100%, and we're going to have background, and the background is going to be black, which is our black variable. Then next, we're going to style the hero image itself. Let's see what this looks like. If you notice, this is beginning to look just like what we want, but we need to add more styles to make it look much more beautiful. Here we're going to have the hero image class, and the hero image is going to have position absolute. And next we're going to add a weight, and the weight is going to be 100%. Then after that we're going to have height. The height here is going to be 100%. Then next we're going to add object fit, and object fit is going to be color. Then we're going to have opacity, and opacity here is going to be 0.8, and we're going to have z index. The z index here is going to be 2. Then we're going to add filter, and filter here is going to be blur and 1px right in here. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it's going to look just like what we want, but we still need to add more styles to bring this one under it and make it look beautiful. You're going to type in hero main container. And for the hero main container, we need a few styles. We need display flex, we need justify content, which is going to be center. Then next, we are going to need align items, it's going to be center. We also need flex direction, and it's going to be column. Then next, we're going to add a height, and our height here is going to be 50 VH. Then next, we're going to add weight, and our weight here is going to be 90%. And after that, we're going to have the index, and the index here is going to be 3. We also need position absolute right here, and that should be it. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look like just what we want, but we're going to add more styles to make this text much more bigger, and our form is also going to become much more bigger. Next, we're going to add our hero main container header right here to style the text and form and input. We're going to target the header, and for the header we need display flex, and we also need align items, it's going to be center. Then next we need flex direction here, and it's going to be column. And then after that we're going to add our hero header text itself. Let's see, hero header text. And for the hero header text, we need font size. It's going to be 60px to make our text much more bigger. And after that, we're going to add our color. And the color here is going to be our white variable, which is a white color. And we need line height right here. And line height here is going to be 29px. And font family here, we don't actually need to change the font family. I think, yeah, we don't have to change the font family. All we need to do here is add text transform. What I'm going to change the font family for is this dummy text up here to make it look italic. So what we need here is text transform, and text transform here is going to be capitalized. And next we're going to have margin, and margin here is going to be 0px, 0px, and 40px to push the text below it much more lower. Actually, that is going to be the text above it. This margin this margin right here is 0px, 0px, and 40px for the top, which is just like adding margin top to our text. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look just like what we want. Then next we're going to style the hero description. And for the hero description, we need font size, and font size here is going to be 32px. The next we're going to add a color, and color here is going to be white. Then let's use our variable white, and next we're going to add our font family, and font family here, font family is going to be serif, and we're going to add font style to make it italic, and font size here is going to be, let's set it to italic. And next we're going to add margin, and margin here is going to be 0px, 0px, and 10px. Let's see what it looks like. That does not work. It seems there's a problem. Let's just make sure this is available in HTML. Copy the class and paste it in the search bar. And as you can see, it's not available. What we need to do is check for the class, and this is it right here. And let's copy this and paste it in here, and that should fix it. As you can see, it's now fixed, and that is just what we want for the text. Next, we're going to go ahead and style our main container for the form. Let's type in form container, And here we're going to have weight, and the weight is going to be 100%. The next we need the search cost form, which is a class we created in HTML. The search cost form, and here we need display flex, and we're going to add justify content here, and it's going to be spaced around. And next we're going to add align items, and the align items here is going to be center. Next we need gap, and gap here is going to be 10 px. Then we're also going to need position relative right here, and position here is going to be relative, and we also need a weight here, which is going to be 70%, and max weight here is going to be 1300 px. The next we're going to add height, and height here is going to be 80 px, and we're also going to need padding here, which is going to be 0 px and 10 px for top, bottom, left, and right. The next we're going to add the border radius, and the border radius here is going to be border radius 5, which is 5 px. And next we're going to add background. The background here is going to be white, the white variable. The next we're going to add the index, and the z index here is going to be 10. The next we're going to add the box shadow, and our box shadow here is going to be 2 px, 3 px, 12 px. This is going to be 12 px, and we need 1 px. Then our gray color says this variable, and we're going to need gray 200. Let's see what our cost form looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look just like what we want. Next, let's go ahead and install our checkboxes. Checkboxes are a checkbox right here. But firstly, it seems there's a problem with our website. There's an unnecessary space right up here. We need to remove that. And to remove that, what we have to do is search for overlay, and you're going to notice this class right here, sidebar overlay container. Set it to display none, and that should fix it. That should fix our navbar, and as you can see, it's now at the top just like what we want. Let's go ahead and continue with our form container. So down here we're going to, let's see, next for our search cost form, next what we have to do is to create our checkboxes class for the checkboxes. And for the checkboxes we need main weight, and the main weight here is going to be 700 px. The next we're going to need margin, and margin here is going to be 0 or 2. The next we're going to add display flex, and next we're going to have flex direction, and it's going to be column. The next we're going to start our checkboxes row. That is the container that holds the two checkboxes. Here we're going to have display flex. We also need align items, and it's going to be center. The next we're going to add border right, and the border right here is going to be 1 px solid gray 100. If you notice that it's a very little border right here in our website on the search cost container, that's right there. Next we're going to create our checkboxes item. Down here we need a checkboxes item class, checkboxes item, and in here we're going to have padding, and our padding here is going to be 5 px. Let's see, padding, we just need to type in 5 px here. And next we're going to add display flex, and we're going to need align items here, and it's going to be center. Then we're going to add weight 100%. Let's see what our checkboxes look like. As you can see, it's beginning to look like just like what we want. They are now side by side, but we still need to add a couple of styles to make it look just like what we want. Let's make sure this class is available in HTML. As you can see, it's available. There is no problem at all. Next, we're going to add our checkboxes style D class, the one we created in HTML. Here we're going to have checkbox. This is going to be checkbox dot style -d, and here we're going to have display, flex, and align items, which is going to be center. The next we're going to add position, and it's going to be relative. And next we're going to have padding, and our padding here is going to be 25. Actually, what we need is padding left, not just padding. And padding left is going to be 25 px to add space at the left side of our checkbox style. Next, we're going to add width, and width here is going to be 100%. We also need to change cursor. We'll change cursor here to pointer. This is going to be cursor, not counter reset. Change this to cursor, and that should fix it. Next, we're going to add a couple of WebKit and browser code to make our checkboxes much more usable and user friendly, so there won't be any error for the website. Here we're going to add WebKit user. Here what we need is WebKit user select, and we need none. You can just copy and paste this 2 more times. Actually, we need 3. Here we're going to change this one to user select, and the second one is going to be ms user select. These are for different browsers. And here we're going to have moz user select. This is another different browser, and here we're going to have WebKit. This is just what we need for the checkboxes in different websites. And here we're going to have checkbox. Once more, we're going to be styling the style class we created in HTML. This time around, I'm going to be targeting the inputs, which are the checkbox themselves. Here we need position absolute. Position, and it's going to be absolute. Then next, we're going to add opacity. Actually, we're going to be removing opacity, not add. And next, we're going to add cursor, and it's going to be pointer. Then next, we're going to set height to 0, and we're going to set width to 0. Then after that, we're going to be styling our check mark directly. And to do that, we need to type in that checkbox. There are going to be lots of classes right in this one line. We're going to need checkbox style D, and we're going to need input checked, and after that we're going to need another class. It's going to be checkbox and checkmark. Here we need background color, and it's going to be VR, and it's going to be blue 400. Then next we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to change this around. Copy this class and paste it down here in order to save time. This time around we don't need this checkbox. We're just going to delete a few classes, and we also don't need input right here. We actually need input. What we need next is hover right here, and next we're just going to go ahead and remove this. We don't need it anymore, and that is it for this class. And for this class, the style we need is background color this time around, and the background color here, color is background. It's not very different. And background this time around is going to be gray 100, a gray color variable. And we're also going to be using this once more. Copy and paste this, and this time around we're going to be targeting checked once again, and with the checked I'm also going to be using this hover right here once again. We also need that, but firstly let's see what our checkbox looks like right now. As you can see, it's not available because we are not yet done with the styles, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to be adding background here, and we need color, and the color here is going to be, we don't need this color. What we need is our variable, and the color variable here is going to be blue 200. Then next we're going to add our checkbox class once more. Copy and paste this once more. We don't have to type it out because it's too long. We just need to cross-check the class to make sure it's correct and it's actually what we want. And we don't need check mark right here. What we need is body, and in here we're going to set color to blue 200, and that is what we need. We still need to add more small styles to make it appear. Next, we're going to be adding the styles to style the checkbox themselves. And for the checkbox, we need checkbox style D, and this is actually going to be dots right here, not hyphen, style D. And next we need checkbox and check mark, and we need position absolute. We also need display flex, and also need align items, which is going to be center. And next we need justify content, it's going to be center. And we're also going to have top 1px. We also need left, it's going to be 0. And next we need height right here, it's going to be 15px, and width here is going to be 15px. Then next we're going to add the background color, and the background color here, let's just use background, it's going to be blue soft. Then next we're going to add the border, and border here is going to be 1px solid. Let's use our gray variable, and it's going to be gray 100. The next we're going to add a transition to make the checkboxes change smoothly whenever we select a new checkbox. So here we're going to add transition, and the transition here is going to be our transition variable. And next we need to add border radius, and the border radius here is going to be our border radius variable, which is 10px. Next we're going to add our checkbox style D, which we've already used before. This is going to be the last style for our checkbox, and here we need checkbox body, target it directly. We're going to add color here, and what we need here is text head color. And next we need line height. This style is for the text that says for buy and for rent in our checkbox. Here we need line height, not list type. We need line height, and line height here is going to be 1.4. And next I'm going to add font size, and the font size here is going to be 13px, and font weight here is going to be bold. Next I'm going to add transition. Let's see, transition, and transition here is going to be our transition variable. Now let's see what our checkbox looks like. As you can see, this is our checkbox, just what we want. But if you notice, two of them can be styled sometimes. They can be checked at the same time. That is an error, but we are going to fix that when we start using JavaScript for our project. Let's go ahead and continue with our styles. So next we're going to style our search cost form. Let's see, search cost form, and we're going to be targeting the input class directly. Here we're going to have input, location, icon. Here we need position absolute, and next we need left, it's going to be 10px, and next we need font size to make it smaller, it's going to be 18px. And next we're going to add color here, and color here is going to be blue 400, which is our variable. Then next we're going to be styling icon input container, which is the container that holds our icon and inputs. I'm talking about the location icon and the inputs in our hero section. Here we're going to type in icon input container, and here we're going to have display flex. And next we're going to add align items, it's going to be center, and we also need position, which is going to be relative. Next we need weight, here it's going to be 100%. Now let's see what our icon input container looks like. As you can see, it's beginning to look just like what we want. And next we're going to be styling our hero search inputs, which is the inputs in our hero section. But here we need height, which is going to be 100%. That is all we need for the icon input container. Next we're going to be styling our hero search inputs. Let's make sure it's available in HTML. Just copy this and search for it in HTML. And as you can see, it's available. Let's go ahead and style it. So in here we're going to need width, and our width here is going to be 100%, and we're going to have height here, which is going to be 100%. Then next we're going to add a padding, and our padding here is going to be 10px, 15px, 10px, and 35px. That is different padding for top, bottom, left, and right, and they all belong to the hero inputs. Next, we're going to remove border from our inputs by adding border none, and next we're going to add border radius, and this time around it's going to be border radius. Let's set it to border radius 5, which is 5 px. And next we're going to remove outline, and to do that we need to set it to none. And next we're going to add font size to increase the text in the hero input container. Sorry, the hero input. Here font size is going to be 16 px and background is going to be transparent. Then next we're going to add color, and our color here is going to be gray. This color here actually belongs to the color of our hero input placeholder. Not placeholder, the text that we type into the input itself. Here the color is going to be gray 300. Next we're going to style the hero input placeholder. Here just type in hero, let's see, search, hero search input, and we're going to target the placeholder. To target it, we need 2 semicolons, the first one and the second one, just like this. And here we need font size, and it's going to be 14 px. The next we're going to add font weight, and our font weight here is going to be 400. And next we need to add color. We need to set color here to gray 300. And after that we need font weight. I think we already have a font weight up there, we don't need it anymore. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, our search bar and the form input is beginning to look much more beautiful. Next, what we need to do is to style our input button container. This button right here. To style the button, we need to type in .hero btn container. We need to add display flex, and next we are going to add align items. It's going to be center. Then next we are going to add height, and our height here is going to be 100%. And next we're going to style the button itself. And to style the button, we need to add a class hero search button. Here we're going to add display flex once more and align items center. The next we need justify content. It's going to be center, and we're going to add height, and our height here is going to be 75%. The next we're going to add weight, and the weight is going to be 150 px. We also need the background here. The background here is going to be a variable, the blue variable. It is going to be blue 400. Then next we're going to add color, and we're going to set it to our white variable. And after that we are going to need padding for top, bottom, left, and right. And padding here is going to be 0 and 20 px. Then next we're going to be adding font size, and font size here is going to be 16 px. We also need to remove every border from our hero search button, and we're going to do that by adding border none. And after that we will need border radius to make it look curvy, and the border radius here is going to be border radius 5. And after that we need cursor, and the cursor here is going to be pointer. And after that we're going to add transition, and we're going to be using our transition variable. Now let's see what our button looks like. It doesn't look like what we want. It seems there is a problem. Let's go ahead and make sure this button class is available in HTML. As you can see, it's not available. What we have here is hero search btn, not button. So let's just change this to btn, and that should fix everything. As you can see, this is just what we want. And let's make sure the hero container is also available. Search for this, and as you can see, it's not available. What we need to do is copy this and paste it in there, and that should fix it. As you can see, that is just what we want. Then next we're going to go ahead and start our property section, which is the second section we have right here that holds the property type, the property quantity, and our property icon. But firstly, it seems there is a problem right here. As you can see, our icons do not look exactly like what we have right here. Let's go ahead and see what the problem is. Let's head over to our checkboxes styles, and let's see right here. That was the error. If you notice, we set this to 100% instead of 100px. This is supposed to be 100px, not 100%, and that should do it for our checkbox. And if you also notice, there is a little problem with our head text and the description right here. There is some space in between them. Let's head over to our hero section, head text and description. So just up here, we're going to find it. Let's set this to 20px, and here for the head text, let's set this to 60, and that should do it for the head text and description. But if you notice, we still have a little more space in between the description and the head text. In order to achieve that, we need to set this to 30, let's see, and that should be it. This looks perfect, and as you can see, we are done with the hero section. But if you notice, it's not yet responsive. What we need to do is add some media query to our CSS, but we are going to be adding them at the end of our project. We are not yet done. So next, let's go ahead and style our choose property section, the one that has these cards right down here. So in order to achieve this look, we need to add some styles to our choose property section. So just down here, let's see the classes we have in HTML for the property section. If you notice, we have the property type class there, and we also have our header center. And after our header center, we also have the wrap text there. So just in HTML, we're going to call this class property type section. Grab that and paste it right here in HTML. And for our property type section, we're going to have a few styles. Firstly, we're going to have padding for top, bottom, left, and right. Padding here is going to be 4rem, and we're going to have 0px for the left and right side. Then next, we're going to have property cards container. But we need a full stop back here to make it a class. And in here, we're going to have display grid, and we're going to have grid template columns, and it's going to be repeat. We're going to have auto fits to make it responsive. Then next, we're going to have min max to set the min and max width, min max, and here we're going to have 200px and one fraction, or we can just call it 1fr. Then next, we're going to have our gap down here, and the gap here is going to be 20px. Next, we're going to have margin top, and margin top here is going to be 1rem. Then after that, we're going to have hash property card link. Let's make sure this is supposed to be property. Paste this in here, and that should be it. Card link. Let's make sure this ID is available in HTML. Paste this in. As you can see, it's not available. Let's see what the problem is. Property card link. This is the problem. We typed in property instead of property. So just type a Y in there, and that should fix it. Let's go ahead and add our styles. Here we need text decoration. It's going to be none. And next we're going to add display flex. We also need flex direction here to stack all items on top of each other. And flex the direction here is going to be column. Then next we're going to add align items. It's going to be center. And after that we need justify content, which is also going to be center. Then next we need gap, and our gap here is going to be 7px. And we're going to add padding, which is going to be 30px. Let's see what our card looks like. As you can see, our card is beginning to look nice, just like what we want. Next, we're going to style our card icon. Let's type in property card icon. And for the property card icon, we need a few styles inside here. Here, we're going to add background, blue soft, which is our variable color. And next, we're going to add color, blue 400, which is another variable. And next, we're going to add font size to make our text much more bigger. And the font size here is going to be 30px. And next, we need padding right here, and padding, and our padding here is going to be 20px. The next, we need border radius to make our card look curvy, and the border radius here is going to be border radius 100, which is 100% border radius. And next we need max height, and max height here is going to be 200 px. We also need max width, and max width here is going to be 100%. The next we need property type, which is the text that describes which type of property that is inside the card. Here we're going to type in property type, and for the property type we need color, and our color here is going to be a text color. And next we need font size, and font size here is going to be 16 px. Then next we need to style the property quantity itself, property quantity. And for the property quantity we need the same thing we have here. Just grab this color and paste it in, but we need a very different color. Delete this color, delete this. What we need here is gray dark, the gray dark color. And next we're going to reduce the font size to 12 px. Now let's see what our card looks like. As you can see, our card looks beautiful, just like what we want. But it seems there's a problem with the card icon. It looks much more smaller and not like what we have here in the demo. Let's just copy the class and paste it in HTML to make sure it's available. And as you can see, it's not available. What we need to do is to correct this. Let's copy it. As you can see, this is the problem. I typed in property again instead of property. Change that to property, and that should fix it. As you can see, we're already done with our card. All we have to do is to duplicate it. Let's see, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, we have 12 of them, so we're going to duplicate it 11 more times to make it look just like what we have there. So copy this and paste it 11 more times. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and that should do it. Let's see what we have here. This is our property card. Now all we have to do is style our grid, the grid that makes it look just like what we have here. So let's target our HTML class that holds the cards. This is the class property cards container, and here let's paste this in property card container, and that should fix it. As you can see, this is just what we want, property cards container. Now let's go ahead and change the text and the property amount, property quantity, to make it exactly just what we have here. After commercial, we have apartments, townhouse, and villa. So let's change that. Here we're going to have apartment. Let's see. We have apartments, townhouse, and villa. Here we're going to have apartment, and next we're going to have townhouse, townhouse. The next we're going to have villa. And after the villa, we're going to have offices, warehouses, and private house. Here we're going to have offices, warehouses, and private houses. Let's see what we have next. After private house, we have open house and building, then shops. Actually, let's minimize this to make it much more easier. Let's see. After private house, right here, we have open house. This is going to be open house. And after the open house, we have building and shops. This is going to be building. Then we're going to have shops, and after that we're going to have studio, and lastly we're going to have condos. That is all for our first part of the video. As I said, this project and tutorial is going to be divided into 4 parts, and as you can see, we are done with the first part of our tutorial. And if you really enjoyed the first part of our video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section below. And as I said at the beginning of our video, I'm going to be pasting the link to the variables in the description of this video. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.